Did you know that most visitors abandon forms before they actually submit them? That's a lot of potential customers walking away from your business forever. The good news? I developed a simple fix that dramatically improved my form completion rates in just 1 week. Now, you've put all this work into your website, the design looks great, you're getting traffic, people are reading your content. But when it comes to actually filling out your contact forms, all you hear is crickets. And this is a massive problem because those form submissions represent real leads and real revenue. Without them, your website is just a digital brochure that's collecting dust. If we haven't met before, I'm Brandon Hurst, and I set up online systems that help businesses get more customers and increase their profits. And today, I'm going to solve this frustrating problem for you once and for all. Let's first understand why people abandon forms in the first place. The problem is that most website forms create unnecessary friction. And with that, there are 4 main barriers that stop visitors from completing your forms. First, your form is probably too long. My research shows that every field you add on beyond the essential 3, the name, email, and message, significantly decreases your conversion rate. Second, your form is confusing. When visitors can't immediately understand what information you need or why you need it, they simply leave. Third, your form feels risky. With data breaches constantly in the news, people are rightfully cautious about sharing their personal information with businesses they don't fully trust yet. And fourth, your form doesn't work properly on their device. This is critical because the majority of web traffic now comes from mobile devices, but many forms are still designed primarily for desktop users. The real cost of poor forms isn't just a lost lead. It's that complete marketing investment wasted getting that visitor to your site in the first place. Think about it. You paid for SEO, content, or ads to get that visitor. They were interested enough to browse your site, and then right then at the finish line, they abandoned your form and disappeared forever. But here's where you might be wondering, if everyone hates filling out forms, why not just put my phone number on the website? And that's a good question. But the truth is, most people actually prefer forms over immediate phone calls for initial contact. Forms let prospects reach out on their own terms, without pressure of direct conversation before they're ready. So let's fix your forms and start converting those visitors into leads. The first solution is to dramatically simplify your forms. I call this the essential 3 approach. The problem is that most businesses ask for way too much information upfront. They create intimidating forms with many fields that make visitors feel like they're filling out a tax return. Quick story for you. I was working with this company that was struggling with form submissions. Their quote request form had 14 fields asking for everything from exact measurements to project timelines. So we cut their form down to just 3 main fields: name, email, and a simple question. And that's it. Just 3 fields. The result? Their form submissions increased dramatically in the first month. So this is where you can take action. You need to identify your essential 3, the absolute minimum information you need to start a conversation with a prospect. Now, for most businesses, this is going to be your name, email address, and a single question that relates to their needs. Everything else that you want to ask them can be gathered up during follow-up conversations. Remember, the goal of your website form isn't to collect comprehensive data. It's to start a conversation with interested prospects. Okay, I'm going to be clear about this. If you're currently asking for phone numbers, addresses, company sizes, budgets, or detailed project specifications in your initial form, you're driving away leads. Save those questions for after you establish contact. Remember, many people abandon forms because of security reasons. The problem is that visitors have no idea what will happen to the information after they submit their form. They're wondering if you're going to spam them or sell their email or even bombard them with calls. So let's solve this with 3 simple elements that you should add to every form. First, add your simple privacy note beneath your form. Something like, your information is kept 100% private and will never be shared or sold. Second, make your submit button specific and benefit-oriented. Instead of submit or send, use phrases like get my quote or start my free consultation. Third, and most importantly, clearly state what happens next. For example, after submitting, you'll receive an immediate confirmation email and will respond personally within 1 business day. This simple 3-part trust framework addresses the psychological barriers that prevent submissions. It works because it removes the uncertainty from the equation, and visitors know exactly what information you're collecting, why you're collecting it, and what will happen after they click submit. Let's talk about the mobile experience, because that's where many form submissions die a quick death. The thing that most people run into is that the forms look perfectly fine on desktop, but can be a nightmare on mobile devices. You run into tiny fields, hard to tap buttons, and awkward scrolling. These create such a frustrating experience that mobile visitors simply give up. And here's what most business owners don't realize. You need to test your forms on actual devices, not just your browser's mobile preview. The way the forms render on real phones often differs significantly from how they look in testing environments. Here's your action plan for mobile-friendly forms. First, test your forms on at least 1 Android device and 1 Apple device. And when I say test, I mean actually complete the entire submission process. Second, increase the size of your form fields and buttons for touchscreens. Make fields larger and easy for tapping. Third, use vertical layouts only. Multi-column forms are a disaster on mobile. And fourth, enable the autofill functionality. This simple change can significantly increase mobile conversion rates by reducing the typing required. Remember, even if your form works technically on mobile, if it's not optimized for the smaller screen, you're losing valuable leads every single day. Now let's talk about those leads that you're already losing and how to get them back. The problem is that many visitors start filling out your form but abandon it partway through. Traditional analytics won't show these partial completions, so you have no way to follow up with these highly interested prospects. Many people who start filling out the forms but don't complete them will actually finish them if given a second chance. Has this ever happened to you? You're filling out a form, you get distracted, or maybe you need to check on something before completing it and you never get back to it. The solution to this is to implement a partial form submission tracking. This technology captures information as it's entered, not just when the form is submitted. This allows you to follow up with people who started filling out your form but didn't complete it. The implementation can be technical, so here's the simplest approach. Just use the form builder that offers this feature built in. Once you have this capability, create a specific follow-up email sequence for partial submissions that say something like, hey, I noticed you started to reach out about XYZ. Did you have any questions that I could help with? This approach works because it's timely, relevant, and helpful rather than pushy and salesy. All you're doing is simply offering assistance to someone who already showed interest. Let's quickly recap the key fixes for your website forms. Simplify your forms to essential 3 fields. Add trust elements to address security concerns. Test and optimize for mobile devices. And implement partial submission tracking. If you implement these changes, I guarantee you'll see an immediate increase from your form submissions and lead generation. If you found this helpful, make sure to hit like and subscribe. And I'd love to know, what is your biggest challenge you're facing with your website right now? Let me know in the comments below and I'll personally respond with some customized advice. Now remember, most visitors are going to abandon your form, but now you know exactly how to fix the problem and capture those leads instead of losing them forever. The businesses that win online aren't necessarily the ones with the biggest budgets. They're the ones that remove friction from every step of the customer journey. Start with your forms and watch what happens to your leads.